days we have left? 85. Okay, let's say 85 days we have left. Right. In these 85 days, you will hear many people saying you can study or watch this video to learn how to get 3 A's in 3 months. If anybody can get 3 A's in 3 months, then the government will only give you 3 months to study. But why did they give you 2.5 years? Because you need 2.5 years to study this content. So, these 85 days, you have probably some plans. No, I have given you a plan. I have given you a plan. Every individual has their own plan. But what is the problem is you don't trust that plan. You don't trust that plan. So now you will decide, okay, for physics, I'm going to do the past paper questions. And then after you do the past paper questions, you're getting it wrong. No, I will do the term paper questions. Then term paper questions, you're doing it, okay, first I will learn the theory. Then when you're learning the theory, then I will also record it. So you're not doing one thing. You are doing multiple different things. So the problem here is now, if you want to go from point A to point B, if you want to go from point A to point B, you have to select a path and choose it. It might not be the best path, but if you keep switching paths every time, do you see, you are not going forward, but rather you're going from side to side. So you have to trust your process. Trust the process without focusing on the result. So in your case, if I am now, if you have 85 days for biology, if you start studying at least 3 essays per day, how many is that totally? 80 times 3 would be what? 240. 240 essays. So out of that 240 essays, if you divide it equally among unit 2, 4, 5, there is a chance all 4 essays will come from unit 2, 4, 5. Yes? Right. So all the essays, if it comes from unit 2, 4, and 5, out of the 30 marks in the essay, you will get at least 25. So out of 100, so far you have how many marks? 25. So now, if you have studied the essays from unit 5, 4, and 2, will that help only for the structure? It will also help for MCQ. So on the MCQ from unit 2, 4, 5, you will be able to answer, let's say, 25 MCQs. Okay, half. 25 MCQs. So that's another 25. Then structure. Aren't there any questions from unit 2? There are. From unit 4 is. From unit 5, you will get one entire structure. So how many marks is that? One entire structure is how much? One entire structure is how many marks? 20, no? 20 divided by 20 divided by 4. 5 marks. 4 marks. Can't be. 4 times 5 marks. 5 times 4 is 20, then 7.5, then 30. Right. Say 5 marks. So if you get your unit 5 correct, you will get, let's say, 4. From this part, let's say you get 3. Here 1. So totally out of 20, let's say you get 10. So lowest amount, 10. How much is that? 25 plus 25, 50. 50 plus 10 is 60. 60 out of 100. From what? Just studying essays. From unit 2, 4, and 5. So when you study this now, if you are starting right now, you have maybe studied 5 essays. When you study 5 essays, you will not get 60 marks. You will not get 60 marks. You will get 60 marks when you study this many essays. So for you to come to this point, what should you do? You should study at least 3 essays every day and review them accordingly. So if you are not trusting that process, if you don't trust that process and you keep switching your method of studying biology, okay, now essays are too difficult, I will first do all the MCQs. Then when you are doing the MCQs and you try the structure, okay, structure is too difficult, now I will do all the model papers on structure. You are switching from one part to another. So if you keep changing your routes, you will never reach your destination. So you need to stick to one process, trust yourself and continue. Okay, so in the beginning, if you're starting to study now, you will not feel like, you will feel like shit. Because you feel like I will not pass. But yes, if you write your exam now, you will not pass. But if you do this process, I am guaranteeing you now 60 is a C. No? So now, at the last moment, in the last week before the biology paper, you can study even more topics now. From 2, 4, 5, maybe introduce a few essays from 7, 9, and 3, you can study these topics if needed. So 240 in unit 2, 4, 5, you will not have 240 essays. Maximum maybe 100 and around 100 even. Huh? 160, no? Then 240, you can cover 7, 8, 9. So then more than 65, you might even get a 75. In how many days? 85 days. So to study 3 A's, how long? Sorry, to study 3 essays, how long does it take you? For one essay, 1 hour. After you study for 1 hour, do you remember the essay? Okay. For one essay, 1 hour means 3 essays, 3 hours. No? So let's say not 3 hours even, 4 hours. Let's say it takes you 4 hours to study. Now 4 hours for biology. You need to have 2 hours for what then? Extra. To review the essays that you learned previous. So these 2 hours you need to use to study the essays you learned previously. So how many hours totally? 6. Just 6 hours a day for the next 85 days. It will come to maybe more than 75 if you study all 240 essays. Yes or no? You have that essay list I made, no? Right. So in that essay list, you can find the answers to that essay. How? Just open the textbook. All the essays answers are there in the textbook. So go to that topic and study that topic. Watch a video on that topic. You have access to all my recordings. At least watch the recording and learn. So when you do that, you cover all 240 essays in just 85 days. This is the method I did. Essay method. I've been telling you from the beginning, but you all didn't do it in the beginning because you had how many days for the exam? 400 days. Now how many days do you have? 80. So now you need some method. So if you trust yourself, if you trust this method, you do at least 3 essays per day. I'm guaranteeing you, if you reach this amount with the reviews, if you review it now, if you study essay today, you won't remember that essay in the level exam. You need to review it 1 day later, 3, 7, 14, 21, 30, 45. And then before the A-level exam, there are these provincial papers will read government Western Province paper, then Northern Province paper, Central Province paper, Royal College paper, Visakha. All these big schools will have their final exams. No? So they predict the essays and put in their last 6. So they put the essays which they think are most probably to come. So those essays also will be covered by this. So if you want before the exam, get a collection of at least 10 exam papers like that and go through the essays and see which one you can't remember. So when you keep doing this, by the time you go to the exam, out of these 250 essay blocks, you will remember everything. Not everything means not 100% of each essay. At least 80% of each essay you will remember. And those 60 essays you chose to, focus on in the last week, you will remember 95%. So by luck, if all the 4 essays are from what 95%, what 25, you can even get 27 out of 30. Okay, so now keep in mind this essay method does not only work for essays, it also works for your structured and MC. So just by spending 6 hours for every day for the next 85 days, if you can get an A for biology, isn't that a great thing? I don't know about physics and chemistry because physics and chemistry is very conceptual heavy. At this point, you have to keep doing past papers. But at least 1A you want, that 1A you can get for biology by following this method. It's very simple. Have a table putting out all the days you need to review each content. So if you do this within 85 days, you can get an A for science, A for biology. Okay. So then there are certain things you do for physics and chemistry also. So what do you do for physics and chemistry? Past paper. Then at this point, you might feel like you are not getting questions right. So then you will want to switch. You will want to stop studying. No. Huh? You will want to watch recordings. Don't do that. Obviously, when you start studying something now, you will not be an expert. So you can't expect to study today and get 3 years tomorrow. If that happens, everybody will become a doctor engineer. No. So if you want to study, if you are putting the effort today, you will get that reward maybe 90 days later, which is your A-level exam. Maybe before the exam only, you will be at least in a B state. Now you will be in a F state, yes. But if you stick to your process, trusting your gut, keeping at it all the way till 90 days, you will get a result. B or even an A. Up to you. Based on the amount of work that you put. But if you keep switching, okay, past papers, well, I'm not getting anything right. Okay, then I will learn the theory. No, it's taking too much time. Then I'm watching the recording. I'm only watching, I'm not learning anything. So then you are keeping on switching. So if you don't do one thing and if you try to do many things, you will not now. You will be a fear. You will be F here also. Here also you will be F. So choose one method and stick to that method. From today itself, choose one method and stick to that method. If that method is to memorize 3 essays per day, stick to it. Okay? There's something called, there's this saying, can't remember what is that saying. Adimel Adivaiktal Amiyam Nagaram. Have you heard of that? Right? Yeah. So small steps, no, just now. If you want to climb a 240 step staircase, if you keep coming 3 steps and okay, let's go back to the recording. 3 steps and let's go back to the recording. If you switch, you will never climb the staircase. So every day take 3 steps towards the 204. Okay. So study unit 2, very important. Unit 4 very important. Unit 5 part 1 and part 2 both are very important. These 3 units you have to cover. So don't go from the A to Z from the textbook now because you have no time, honestly, right? So the textbook is around how many pages? 600 pages, no? So let's say you have only 60 days per day, 100 pages. No, per day, 10 pages. 10 pages is very difficult, you know? So just study this essay method, 3 essays per day, all the way until your exam, and you will get an A for balance. Okay? And then regarding your physics and chemistry, stick to what you are used to and keep doing that. Study every day. You will feel like giving up. Yes. You will feel like, is it worth it? Obviously, it won't be worth it now because you just started, but it will be worth it in 83 days. Now imagine, now think about this yourselves. Imagine if you study 10 hours every day for the remaining 83 days. How many hours have you studied totally then? 830 hours. Do you think you will be the same person at the beginning of the 830 hours and the end of the 830 hours? Will you be the same person? Will you have gained knowledge? Yes, that's what you need to do. Sit down, take the books and study. You will feel like giving up. Yes, everybody feels like giving up. Even the ones who are prepared will feel like giving up. So don't worry about the result. Focus on the journey. That means if you have, don't worry about this 240 number. Worry about the 3 essays that you need to do today. That's all. If you have to study mitosis, meiosis, and enzymes today, that's the only thing you need to study. Nothing else. Focus on each day individually rather than looking at the 85 days remaining. Focus on each day. Today, if you want to do an MCQ paper, don't think about I have 30 MCQ papers to complete. No, I have 1 MCQ paper to complete today. Don't worry yourself with your future problems. Think about the present, what you have to do today and finish that. Okay, if you work honestly for at least minimum of 12 hours of proper smart work, not just watching recording or sleeping and waking up, sleeping and waking up. No, proper active work which spans across 12 hours until your A-level exam, which is in 83 days. I guarantee you, if you follow this method, you will surely get B or an A. Okay, if you are lucky, you will get an A. 240 essays, most likely you will get an A because when I went to my exam, I only remembered around 120 or something like that. Okay, 100 or 120. So I got an A. No? So then this 240 means you should get an A star. So isn't this achievable? 3 essays per day. Don't you think it can be done? Can be done. So if you follow this method, you will get an A for biology. Physics and chemistry, on the other hand, just trust yourself and do the past papers. You're not dumb or stupid. No? Nobody is dumb or stupid. Everybody is average. That's why average. So do the past papers, keep doing it, and trust yourself. There's nothing else that can be done. So don't worry about, okay, I should have studied from the beginning. Now can you go back in time and change that? No. I should have, gone to this class. I should have gone to that class. I should have done papers. No. Can you change any of that now? Don't worry about what you should have done. Worry about what you should do now. So if you go in now, if you take your future self in after the A-level exam, if that person was given a chance to come back now, what will that person tell you? Study. So if you were given an opportunity to go back in time to tell your first year self, what will you tell? Study. So then imagine your future self came last night in your dream and telling you to study. Ade, please study. If you don't study, it's going to be a waste. So if you get an A for biology, what do you know? Let's say let's say with all your hard work, you couldn't get 3 A's. You got A to B or A, B, C. But won't that give you a confidence for at least the next try? Or if you like a degree which you offered, you can go to that even. Okay, but don't give up. That's all I'm saying. Don't give up. Don't think it's done. Even if you're in the zero state, 3 essays a day, if you put in really hard and study these 3 essays, it should be more than enough. Okay? Right. So if you feel like tired, don't take a break while only 83 days left. At night, sleep properly, sleep 7 hours, 6 to 7 hours, it's okay. Don't try to stay through the night and study. Sleep only for 6 to 7 hours. The remaining time, try to study as much as you can. If your parents are going out, if your family is going out, if your friends are going out, tell them you can't come. For these last 100 days, my parents didn't see me even because I came out of the room only for eating dinner and lunch. Sometimes I took the lunch and dinner with me into the room. So I always started with biology because biology was my difficult subject. Physics and chemistry are solving sums, so you have less chance of falling asleep. But biology, you have a higher chance of falling asleep when you try to study. So always start with biology. Do biology every day. Alternate physics and chemistry in the evening and night. Okay. So aim for at least 12 hours of smart work, but try to go even more if you can. Sleep 6 to 7 hours and do this for 85 days without worrying about what I should have done, what I could have done. Just think about what you can do right now. Okay. So, like I said, you will feel like not studying. You will feel like, okay, it's a waste of time. Okay, if it's a waste of time, then why not just try it? These 83 days are anyway going to go. No? You have now, if you take your first try students, you have 3 tries. So why are you going to waste a try? So these 85 days, try as much as you can. Try like at the end of these 85 days, what you should feel is happy, not because the A levels are finished, but because you tried your best. Now, if you go to the exam, right, and you see the paper and you just left the paper blank, or if you couldn't do many of the things in the paper, you will feel sad because you didn't study as hard as you can. But you still have 85 days. If in these 85 days, if you study really hard, I'm telling you, you won't feel regret. You might not get 3 A's, but you won't feel regret. You will be happy about yourself. These 85 days, I studied like a madman, and I'm happy about myself since I studied these 85 days. That is the goal that you should keep in mind. Don't keep in mind, don't think about 3 A's. Don't think about medicine. Think about you need to make your future self happy. For you to make your future self happy, you need to start working every day. So then you might even forgive yourself for the first 1.5 years that you wasted. Because in these 85 days, if you study 12 hours every day, by the time you go to your A-level exam, you will feel complete. I'm telling you, you will feel complete if you work really hard these 85 days. 85 days is not a short amount of time. No? It is actually substantial. How many months? That's around 3 months. So studying really hard for 3 months is a big deal. Nobody can do that. But if you do that, you will feel happy at the end. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to give you false hope, but you have a chance of getting 3 A's if you study like that. But I'm telling you, biology A is almost confirmed if you do this. Biology A is almost confirmed. But for physics and chemistry, I cannot vouch and tell you, you can surely get an A. But what I can tell you is you will feel happy at the end. Okay. So now imagine yourself, if you didn't study those 85 days and you go to the A-level exam, what will you feel? Before you go to the A-level exam, would you want to go to the A-level exam? What will your family tell you? Will they tell you to stay at home? It's okay. No. Go and do something and come. So, but they don't understand what that something means. They think that you know something. But if you didn't study these 85 days, you will not know anything. You will feel embarrassed. You will feel like a failure in that exam actually. So you will see all the others are writing something. But when you look at the paper, you will cry. Why? Because you don't know anything. Do you want that feeling? Just imagine that feeling and tell me whether it's something that you would like. Take a second. Close your eyes and imagine. No, making you cry now, right? However, if these 85 days, if you work 10 hours on average, you go to the exam, out of the 50 MCQs, you are sure of only 35. For physics, let's say, out of 50 MCQs, you are sure of only 35. Now, when you feel like shit, or will you feel at least a bit happy? Which one will you feel? You will feel at least a bit happy. Why? Because in these 3 months, I went from a 0 to 35. So that means I am not an idiot. I am capable. I just did a mistake of studying late. No? So then next time now, 35 is also okay. You will get a B or a C. And with that also you can do a degree if you want. But if you really want medicine, your next try you will have more confidence. Okay. So but for biology, if you do this, you will get an A for sure. Like 240 essays, I thought like first these 5 units only 160. No? So 240 is more than enough. Don't study unit 6 essays. Okay. Study unit 7 or then imitate unit 9. Okay, study those essays. Anyways, the lot of people will predict and put no. Don't just study the 10 that they predict. Choose everybody's prediction and study all those essays. Okay, right. So then I'm telling you, these 85 days, if you put in the work, you will feel happy on the exam day and you will get an A for biology, physics and chemistry. Just put your head down and work and hope for the best. If you're lucky, you will get. Okay, right. Sir, can you please explain how to improve MCQs? I always get wrong with selecting the correct statements. So when you're doing MCQs, you should always do the MCQ like you're a teacher. That means each MCQ, you have to go through each statement and tell why each statement is wrong. Find a way to explain why each statement is wrong, then you will naturally come to the correct statement. So when you're doing MCQs, okay, a statement is wrong due to this, or Golgi apparatus is not involved in protein synthesis. So you just write it down there and you are putting a small review for each statement such that eventually you will find the correct statement. So even if you think the second statement is true, don't mark it true and go to the next statement, but go to the third, fourth and fifth options and see why they are wrong. So in that way, you will not make any careless mistakes. You'll be able to do the MCQ well. Okay. Have I answered your question? And again, you can always improve your MCQ marks if you know the content. Okay, so you study like this and go. And do you have any other questions? Any other advices you need regarding this? No? Okay. Then that is it. If you feel like, you don't want to do it anymore, you can. After 85 days, don't do it anymore. Okay. For these 85 days, don't listen to your body, listen to your brain. Your brain knows what needs to be done at that moment. No, your brain knows. Now, for example, if you go home, your brain tells you, right, to study. What does your body do? It sleeps. But your brain knows what's right and wrong. So now imagine if you're playing a game and you're controlling a person, right? You're controlling a person who's going to do the A-level exam. Will you let them lie flat on the bed or will you press a button to make them go study? You will press a button to make them go. Your brain knows the path. It's your body that doesn't listen. So if your brain tells you, okay, this is not right, that means it is not right. If your brain tells you, okay, I am purposely watching recordings because I don't want to actually study. Your brain will tell, while you're watching recordings, your brain will tell, right? I don't feel like I'm learning anything. I'm watching these recordings because I don't want to open the book and study. That is why I'm watching recordings. Your brain will tell you that. Then you tell your brain, no, we need to finish the recordings. No? That's what you tell your brain. But your brain knows more than watching recordings, you need to study on your own. Do the past papers on your own. Self-study on your own. So don't go wasting your times on recording. Do all of this active study by yourself. Okay? Right? All right. So try this and see. Now we have the paper class now every week. By the time we are doing the seventh, eighth paper, you would have, no, not even seventh, eighth paper. By the time you are doing the sixth paper, you would have memorized more than 100 topics. No? At that time, see, your marks will gradually improve. By the time you come to the eighth paper, your marks will reach 70, 75. Then if you get a 70 for your paper, what will you get? Confidence. Once you have confidence, you will feel like you can do anything. Okay. So at the beginning, currently you have no confidence. But to get that confidence, you need to be good at something. So you keep at it. Eventually your confidence will grow with you. Okay. I can't tell anything anymore. Now is the time. Still you can make a difference for biology. See, I didn't tell that all 3 subjects can get. No, I said only biology. 30 days also. Maybe you can get biology if you start studying 6 essays a day, right? But after a certain point, at let's say one night before the exam, I will put a video saying how to study in one night and get 3 A's for A-level biology. You can. How? Sleep on your bed and dream for the A-level result to come with 3 A's. That's the only way you can study in one night and get 3 A's. Okay. I feel like 80 days is the minimum you have to make a change. Okay. That's 3 months, so around 3 months. That's the minimum you have to make the change. So I have told everything I wanted to tell. It is your choice to either feel happy at the end or feel sad at the end. Okay. Right.